Hey people, you join us in the as we've just kicked off Monaco here for Tier 1. And there's a very quick start to this Formula 1 session because we are in the midst of qualifying as we speak. So without further ado, I am of course Tipsy Bob, and we have Mr. Chief here with all these standings, and then we'll get straight into the action. Chief.
Yeah, quick rundown of the standings so you can see it on your screen there. Justin is in the lead in the Tier 1 Driver Championship for the first time this season, only by 1 point. And Danico 95 points. Makender enters the fray though, P3, and he's on 81 points if I read that properly. I think so. Looking at constructors, McLaren still out in front, but AlphaTauri, Williams, P2 and P3. But yeah, Bob, let's get to the action. The guys are out, and I'm starting to see some times coming in, so let's switch over to the live session.
Yeah, I was just on board with Crystals there. He was doing a pretty good lap, but it was a wee bit scrappy at times. He was running, Fox just clips the wall in the last corner. Oh my goodness, Fox was on he looked a pretty tidy lap there. Yeah, hits the wall. These walls are always present. But on board here, Chief, with Justin, he's about to set his first lap. So we're not going to get any real proper telemetry in terms of deltas, unless you know your sector times. But it's showing he's done a purple sector 1 already out of the 3 drivers. We're expecting the 8s, I think, Chief. We're expecting 8s. Well, there's Mac already. He banged it in a 9 dead. And yeah, we are expecting 8. Somebody up ahead here of Justin, I think, at the chicane is a Mercedes is stopped. Have they actually wiped themselves out? Somebody stopped it. Oh yes, look at this. There's a drama going on in the action here. Don't know who that is, but I'm going to stick on board with Justin. That must be that Osam Sidat disqualified. But yeah, still on board with Justin here. I missed the sector 2 time there because of that little bit of an incident there with the Mercedes driver, a reserve driver. We'll get into that in a minute. But Justin is just whacking on the DRS to cross the line for his first banker lap. And it's pretty good. It's pretty close to Mac there, 1 minute 9-1. And yeah, Osam Sidat, a victim already, Chief, very early on in this qualifying session.
I did not see that. I missed that.
Oh, very nice.
I will just call him Osman, by the way. But yeah, Justin, nice lap from him. Makender, 9 flat. Yeah, yesterday it was similar. I think pole was like a 9 flat. But I did see Tino in chat saying he was doing a 108.1, so I imagine some of these Tier 1 guys will get into the 8s, but it's going to be a tough task at Monaco.
Yeah, I mean, obviously our eyes will be looking towards Dan the Man and Justin and maybe Mac as well to get into that the 8s, maybe mid-8s, I don't know. I don't know what the benchmark is for these guys, but I'm expecting 8s. Just watching Lepson here, he's tiptoeing around the track here. I think there's a bit more time left in him in this lap. I would believe this is a very safe lap, although in doing that, he has set a purple sector 2. A purple sector 2 from a Tier 3 driver, folks. That is the joys of the racing line. But here we go, he's going to cross the line shortly. DRS activated, and he sits it in. P5 at 10.8, so yeah, he'll definitely be looking to improve on that for sure. Who else we're waiting on for a lap? We're looking on Nike is on a out lap, so we're waiting on him. Fox will also be looking to improve, Chief. He clipped the wall. Do you know what I've actually noticed in recent seasons, Chief, right?
Yeah.
So we've been doing this a long time, right? We've been racing a long time. Way back, 2013 we used to race in these games. And I have always, if you remember, no innuendo inferred here, but I have always had a very plain green helmet. Remember that? And the amount of abuse I used to get, have you got a very boring green helmet? I just like green. I don't need no fancy logos. Just give me a green helmet. And I actually get slated with it. Oh, who was that flying on straight on? That was a Red Bull of Lepson. You're not allowed to do that. I saw that. I don't know if you've seen it. I've seen it. I'm calling it out. Yes, I'm afraid to have to call him out. He went straight onto the chicane. You're not allowed to do that in quali. He didn't lift at all. But anyway, people got at me about my green helmet. And now I see lots of people having a green helmet. Fox has a green helmet. Wayne Cruiser has a green helmet. Who else had a green helmet? Didn't that other guy, the English fella, flip me, forgive me, I should know his name. He used to race here. He used to be, wasn't he an admin of DMR?
Adam?
That's it, Adam. I knew I forgot his name. Adam had a green helmet. It's these green helmets are coming out, so maybe, Chief, I'm leaving a mark on these guys, subconsciously leaving a mark.
Yeah, and I think next year they're going to have a green livery for a car.
Yeah, that's right. I was saying, I would only come back if I could drive that car, but I'm not coming back. I'm pretty much done. But Lepson, he'd probably be lucky that wasn't on stream, but I saw it, and so I'll be nagging him to get that in the POV, please, Repson. Give yourself a self-report. Take a leaf out of Icewind's book. That man, Icewind would probably be a tier 1 champion if he didn't report himself so much.
Probably. Monaco put across the line here. Looks like he might not improve, actually. Looks like he's going on. One thing I picked up from yesterday's qualifying session, our gamer set the pole time on the second run. Sorry, his final run, but he did 2 laps consecutive on these softs, and the second lap was the faster lap.
Oh, Dan the man just clips the wall out of turn 1 as he's coming up the hill.
Yep, Meepo in the background there, P2, sorry, Bob.
That's alright. No, Justin did an 18, I think, sector 1 time. Danny, 18.4. So I think that maybe that clipping of the wall will definitely cost Dan the man, unless he can claw it back. Dan the man, of course, isn't he still leading, Chief, isn't he? Or is it Justin?
Oh, it's Justin by 1 point, yeah.
That was Justin's leading because of Dan the man missed out. Yes, Chief, go ahead.
Exactly, yeah. Dan missed a race yesterday, so Justin wasn't able to win the race, but was able to pick up enough points to take the lead momentarily.
Yeah, well, Dan really... Sorry, Chief.
Yeah, he'll hope... Sorry, I say momentarily. Of course, Justin will hope to extend that lead, but Danico is back on track, so that may be a problem.
Dan the man is back on track indeed, and he's already set a purple sector 3 time, so expect to see this pretty high up there in the top 3, maybe even not even, my goodness, look at that, top 5 of the 9.4. So I kind of said that the sector times were off there on Justin's initial first run, but just getting into the groove, really. That's probably why our gamer it did what he did yesterday, get a banker lap, or not even a banker lap, get a lap in under your belt, and then really go at it, because that was always something I struggled with, Chief, and historically in all these games, is just setting that one lap. Oh, there you go, Justin sticks it on P1 at the moment with an 8.9, so he's the first man to dip his toes, and it is a toe dip indeed into the 8s. It's just a 1 minute 8.920, but I've always struggled, Chief, with just going around the track really slowly, warming the tires, and then boom, hitting it and trying to nail a tire. That's our time. That's never was something I was really strong at. I was more of what kind of race distance, like pacing myself without a distance and managing it is what I preferred, and that also did cost me in previous times. But Dan the man was really shifting there.
Yeah, he was 5/10 up on his time there, and then he pulled into the pits in the final sector. I don't know if he just fancied a new set of rubbers, but that will definitely give him a bit of confidence that he can go much faster than his current time of 9.4.
Yeah, maybe what have we got 6 minutes to go here, Chief, and maybe I said I wasn't going to do it because I'm always there and there's never any crack, but I think I'll just call up the chat, Chief. I'll call up the live chat and see what the people are saying, if they're saying anything. Maybe we'll get some intel from our gamer, give us a bit of heads up. Let me see here. Make sure my volume's down. Oh, we've got just Babs, of course, no sound. We've corrected that. And Justin says, no, yeah, that's it. So the chat is booming.
As always, yeah. Oh,
as always. Oh,
Justin,
weather is interesting.
It's interesting. Is he not going to tell us? Is he going to keep it a mystery for us?
Yeah, he's got his poker face on here. Weather is interesting, but I'm not going to tell you.
I tell you what, one of the craziest races I've ever had in Monaco was when it started dry and then mid-race it went wet. As Lepson just glances off the wall heading into the swim pool section. It looks like a fast lap here from Lepson though. If he can keep it on track and away from those walls. Really, I mean, if you want to go fast, you kind of have to kiss the walls a little bit and hope they don't bite back. But Lepson P7 currently crosses the line, does not improve. Actually, improves his time, but does not improve his position. 109.9 though is not to be scoffed at. Good representation from Lepson.
And as you said, that Chief, at Lepson hitting the wall, Crystal's then instantly hit the wall at turn 1. So yeah, again, dropping time here. Crystal's that's twice now he's hit that turn 1. And he's cutting the corner. Second person I've seen do that. I don't know if you got that in the stream, Chief. Crystal's cut the chicane, and he's cut the chicane as well. You're not allowed to do that.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
It's invalidated. So I don't know if he did that thinking. I don't know why they're in such a hurry to get back to the pits. Still plenty of time left on the clock, but yeah, some unusual driving out there today. Justin has confirmed it is a dry start, but a wet end to the race.
Yeah, safe tires probably. Well, just on that thing that we said previously, it's always been a rule in SLR that you do not cut the chicane or you don't cut the track to get back to the pits quicker. You just don't do it. You don't do it in real life. Formula One, it's dangerous. You don't do it.
And Lepson is an admin, and Crystals is ex-admin, so they definitely should know better. But we've got Meeple on screen here, looking like he's on a pretty good lap, and I see his father's in chat. Booming boomers, he says. He will be cheering on his son, Meepo, who did not have the best of races last week. DNF'd, unfortunately. I believe, as Meepo makes his way through the final corners. And we're going to get a time from him on the board. It's a 108.8. What a lap from Meepo. Great stuff.
So Meeps has sent the gauntlet down with 3 minutes to go here in qualifying in Monaco. And Dan the Man, I think, has got he actually has. He's up 3/10, and he's coming into the pits. I was going to say, Chief, I think Dan the Man has got a bit of pace in him. He just cannot get a lap together. Of course, Justin is still out, ready to go rock. Mackender's ready to rock. And do not discount, and we always say it, Tuna Man. Tunari has not set a lap yet, and as I say that, he's leaving the pits in that wonderful scarlet red of that Ferrari. It's the best looking car, I think, this season in Formula One. It's just a piece of machinery. And Tuna Man is out to set. He's going to be a one lap wonder, and he will be looking to take that time off Meepo as the Red Bull. Who's that Red Bull? Flies past him. It's Fox. Fox is, I think he's not improving at all. No, he's not actually. He's done his lap.
Yeah, he did improve, and he went up, jumped Nikau, so he has got a P8 110.110. These are some incredibly fast times. Even the low 10s are pretty impressive stuff.
Oh, there's somebody else yeeting on straight at the. Is that Fox is now doing it as well? That's Fox now straight on at the chicane. So I have Fox, Crystals, and Lepson cutting straight across the chicane. I'm keeping note.
Riding the board with McKenna heading down to the Nouvelle chicane. Cuts it nicely. Looks like a pretty good lap is in store for McKenna here. We won't know until he crosses the finish line, of course, but looks like he's on it as he's flat out through swimming pool. Full commitment for this tricky sector 3. And yeah, the last two corners, it's so easy to clip the rear tire off the barrier on the inside on both corners, and McKenna navigates that nicely. It looks like a good lap. It's going to be, it's slightly up on his, or down on his time, so he does not improve. P3 it looks like for McKenna for now, but we have plenty of drivers out there. Bob, anyone else on the lap?
Yes, as you said, Justin has just started his ultimate lap, and he's doing pretty tasty here so far. Sector 1, he is not really up at all. He's marginally down, but he's still on it. Like, he's still close. Oh, a bit of a slidey action there going into the hairpin. That's going to cost him. Every little micro mistake in Monaco is very, very, very punishing. Own your time. We're going to keep a wee eye on him here to see how he does. It's sector 2. Easy to cut that curve. You can cut that curve a lot more than what people realise. And Oh, yeah. Sector 3, he's up by just over a tenth, Chief. So this is ultimately going to be faster than Meepo if he can just nail this final sector. This might be jumping Meepo here. Justin May, well jump Meepo here. DRS activated, hugging the wall, and he crosses the line. And he does take P1 for the moment. So he will, at the moment, is sitting on pole. Tudge is crossing the chicane. Oh, he clips the wall. Where's Dan the Man? Dan the Man is up as well. Dan the Man is up by a good bit. Tudge crossing the... Oh, Tudge clips the wall!
My word.
So that's him pretty much done. He's not going to improve on that now. Dan the Man is, I think, the only one that can maybe take it off him. He is setting purples here. Tuna Man sticks it at 9.4. Excuse me. But here comes Dan. Can he take the pole? He can! He takes pole with an 8.5. I think I called that, Chief. I said about an 8.5. I'll take the credit for that one.
You did all the hard work, yeah. Danny Coe just comes along, takes the accolade. That is impressive stuff from Danny Coe. We saw him struggling on other runs, but this one it all came together, and Danny Coe doing what he needs to do. And this is what I'm talking about, the form Danny is in recently. It's hard to bet against him, isn't it?
It really is. And even whenever, if he's having a bit of a rubbish time of it, whether it's in quality in the race, he doesn't lose it. He keeps himself switched on. And Danny is a very accomplished driver. Like, I've known him a long time, and anyone that knows him, he knows that he can get angry, but not nasty angry. He just gets frustrated with himself or the situation. But I think that as time has gone, he's raced more. I think he's learned to use that frustration, and he channels it back into his racing. And we're all the benefit for it, because look at these times he sets and these races that race performances that he puts in. Remember the last lap in Silverstone when he got him, and then I remember whenever the last time I was in Tier 1, Chief, I was teammates with Dan the Man, and we both were the only guys to stick on. Was it the Inters, I think?
Yeah, at Hungary.
In Hungary, and Dan took the race win, and I went from like nowhere to like top 6 or something. I don't know where I was. I finished. So yeah, Dan the Man, he knows how to handle his car around these tracks.
Yeah, that was one crazy race for sure. I remember that one. I was one of the ones that stayed on the Inters and did not pay off. Yeah, so we're looking at 39 laps of Monaco. Quite a long race. The lap is short, but yeah, 39 laps. It is a race of attrition, and we're going to see that. There's going to be plenty of new front wings waiting in the wings. And yeah, right now the drivers are just thinking about strategies. Track position, with it being so key here, it's probably better that you want to stay out a bit longer, but of course if you go harder tires, it's going to be harder to get away from the starting grid once those green lights go up. But if you can start on like a hard compound or medium even, that will bode you well later in the race. But yeah, we saw yesterday in Tier 3, patience is key at Monaco. A lot of drivers do get frustrated and end up making mistakes. But you just have to be very patient at this track, and it can be very frustrating when you're stuck behind someone who is slower than you, but it's so difficult to pass here, isn't it, Bob? We've all been there.
Yeah, I mean, we've all done Monaco many, many, many times, and it is, as you say, key just to be super patient. Don't force it. Don't force passes. Sometimes you may have to in specific situations and specific corners. But generally, you don't want to force it too much, because, we've seen, was it in Tier 3, wasn't it Wesley and was it Inferno? Inferno on really old tyres. Or no, Wesley was on old tyres defending hard against Inferno, and he ended up coming out the worst of it, because, it is so difficult to defend on really old hards, let's say, on reasonably fresh mediums. In Monaco, you're going to run deep, you're going to be slow on the traction, and if you're going to defend with everything you've got, you're ultimately going to kill yourself or maybe someone else. And then the other thing too, Chief, is you kind of it's a bit like tracks like Singapore, another favorite of mine. You kind of just race the track more than the other drivers. That's what you're racing. If you leave drivers long enough, eventually, especially in the lower tiers, they will trip themselves up. And quite often, I find people do it near the end of a race when fatigue is hitting them. They just want the race to end. and that slight misjudgment or lapse of judgment, and you're in the wall, and it's game over. And then that's the other thing too. If you're really, 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 really close behind someone and you're pushing them and pushing them and pushing them, and then they mess up, you're almost 90% guaranteed to get caught up in that as well. So it also costs you as well, pushing a driver. So Monaco is just, I mean, so many people have raced it. We all know how to race it. It's just one of those tracks where lap one here, or the first couple of corners, capitalize as best you can at the start, and then whatever position you're in, you are probably going to be sitting there right until the pit stop. And that's what it is. It's just patience. Make sure you've got good tires to last you to the end of the race. And as you see, members chief in season 12, whenever we raced here, I was on like hards, and the guy behind me was on reasonably good mediums, but I kept my hards in good condition. And you can just defend with ease here. You just make your car like really, really, really fat, and it's effortless to defend here.
Yeah, there's a real skill involved. Danico, you're speaking of hard tires. He's on the hard tire. 3 drivers behind, mediums, and Touge and Tenari on hards, but it is a mixed field, medium and hards. Danico really wants to get the best of starts here, because this is an opportunity for Justin to get the lead. Let's go, Bob. The lights are about to go up.
Lights are about to go. This may be a very quick and frantic start. The lights are off, and here we go. Dan the Man leads his way at Monaco, and these front 4 for sure are getting away nicely. But Meepo and Justin are already fighting, and I think Justin lifted off there because he was going to get spun. Justin is using his experience there, not going to get caught up in turn 1 in a 39-lap race. So a top 4 anyway for sure, all holding position. Matt getting a bit of a tank slapper there on the exit. Oh, a little bit of a bumper-to-bumper action here. Oh, Dan the Man locked up there, Chief, and nearly lost it already. Riyadh with a 5-second time penalty already. That's a very early time penalty. So Dan locking up probably on those cold hards, and he's going to have quite a job on his hands here to hold off these 3 very rapid drivers on these mediums. Further back, let me see, nothing else happening further back. No, I think everyone else is holding position so far, Chief, but Riyadh with a time penalty already, Chief, lap 1.
Yeah, something happened at the back at turn 1 on that first lap. Oh, big cuts there from Danico and Justin. But yeah, the 5 drivers at the back all getting caught up. I had a look to see if I could see any damage. I couldn't, but yeah, there we go. Osman is 3 seconds. That's 8 seconds he's got already.
Yeah, Osman ran really, 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 really deep there. I'm just wondering, has he done any practice? Because he seems to be really like almost learning the track as he's going around.
Yeah, he's struggling at the minute, isn't he? He's a new driver to SLR, so this is really our first chance to see him on track, and he's not last. I suppose that's technically his own time penalty. So, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on him, see how he does, if he's able to maybe get up to speed for the rest of the session. But lap 2, Justin is on the back of Danico, but as we can see, not really any opportunity to overtake here. Really, you're thinking about the long game here. You're already probably thinking about pit strategy. When do you pit? Do you try to undercut? Obviously, he's on the medium tire, so we'll have to pit before Danico, but Danico can run longer, which actually is a big bonus. If you can run longer, the guys behind will have to pit earlier. They might get traffic and lose time.
Yeah, man, the pits are just so pivotal in Monaco, and track position, as we know, is so key. All things we already know, but yeah, Osman is really, really, really struggling. I just want to touch on that. I'm actually mildly impressed that you can get a 3-second time penalty in Monaco in lap 1. I think that's quite an achievement in itself. But yeah, I mean, I'm expecting these guys to just follow behind, pretty much as it is. I mean, there's a decent margin between these drivers. Oh, who was that? That was Riyadh. Nearly lost it there. Coming up. Oh, yeah, Riyadh's actually really starting to struggle here on braking and traction. Basically, the 2 most important elements of Formula 1 is the stopping the car and starting the car. Yeah, these guys all kind of following suit, Chief. I don't think there's really much happening at the moment, but the real main interesting fight really is this front 4. Tudge is a bit of a gap behind him, and then the other all healthy margins between each other. But Crystal's now gets himself a time penalty. My goodness, these guys are really struggling with Monaco. So early on now, lap 3 already. Oh, Tudge clips the wall with his rear right. It nearly spins. And Tuna Man will be thinking, yep, this guy's struggling. I'll be keeping a wee eye on this. But Chief.
Tuna's in that situation, isn't he, where he knows he has to get a move on here because Tuj is starting to hold him up a bit, and that lead pack starting to break away.
Yeah, and it's so just again stating the complete obvious. We all know, but it is so difficult to pass in Monaco. Like it's like, what do? You have to send it. It kind of forces you to send it, and Tuna Man isn't that style of driver. He will if he absolutely has to, but this is the kind of track where you're just gonna have to just leave the OG behind, really, and really risk it for the biscuit, as they say, within reason, of course. If you want to capitalize on getting past some of these guys, because this is just going to be like I don't want to say a procession, but that's just all it's going to be. It's going to be follow the leader until the pit stop.
Yeah, one thing you can do is you can kind of download the data on the driver ahead. You can see where his weak points are. Maybe you can catch him out somewhere. If he gets a bad exit, or you notice he's struggling out of a certain corner, possibly that might be your opportunity to jump and attack. But yeah, it's full commitment, like you say. I've seen a few moves into the Nouvelle Chicane. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, you have to just be committed to the move, and it can be high risk, but it can also be high reward. Osman Sidat gets a 5-second penalty. We may see early retirement from Osman. He does seem to be struggling massively in this race.
Yeah, there you go, Chief. As you said,
he's had enough. Lap 5, and he's had enough.
Yeah, he was collecting those time penalties like Pokemon. So I'm not surprised he's realised he's I don't want to say out of his depth. That's maybe unfair, but definitely these guys in Tier 1 are much more drilled when it comes to these tracks. And it's just not fun if you're so far off the pace, picking up penalties in Monaco of all things. Yeah, it's understandable that he done that. We got a yellow. Oh no, it's still for Osman's car.
Yeah, Osman in chat says 3-second penalty in the first lap in Monaco, bruh.
Yeah, bruh. Yeah, it is achievement, as I said. It's just like, wow.
Achievement unlocked.
That actually might be an achievement,
It just pops up, Steam message.
Oh, his car is now stopped into the Rosberg spot. Ironically, it is a Mercedes too. So yeah, that's a nice wee bit of lore there. That's going back a few years.
Yeah, I mean, as far as debut races go, I mean, it is a tough one and especially Tier 1 in Monaco. It is a tough ask, so hopefully it's not the last we see of Osman Sidat. But today was definitely not his day, so back to the drawing board for him.
Yeah, I just got a message there from my work colleague telling me about. Okay, he's telling me about a horse that's running in the Grand National tomorrow.
Oh, I got a tip as well, but yeah.
Oh, wait! I suppose you wouldn't be allowed to say them online because that would. Well, my one begins with K, and it is what I call my wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then whenever, and then if the room is dark and you want a little bit of...
sorry, Lepson's out. Lepson is spun out. I think there was contact between Ryad and Lepson in the penultimate corner, and I suspect there might be damage on one of the two drivers' cars, if not both, as Lepson pulls into the pit. Sorry, Bob.
No, that's alright, I was just waffling there.
I will definitely get that tip after the race, so I think I might have a flitter.
I might actually do too.
Yeah.
Just going to reply to him. Very professional here, replying on WhatsApp to my work colleague.
But yeah, Danny Coe leads the race, 6-lap-old. Hard's looking pretty good for him. Really his mission right now is stay ahead, which is easy enough done in Monaco, but also don't pick up damage. One thing I noticed in the Tier 2 and free races, if a driver did get, say, light yellow damage, it tended to lead towards further damage, because obviously if you're missing a bit of end play or whatever, it's going to make the car just that little bit harder than normal. and that can often lead to further damage as you struggle to make corners and get your exits and all that lined up.
Yeah.
But Danico looks like he has control of this race right now, and will be switching to softer tire compound at the end, so that's definitely a big bonus for him.
Oh, Lepson cut again. They're falling victim to this cutting too tightly. The rear right keeps clipping the barrier, and yeah, Monaco is one of those tracks. If you've got a little bit of damage, you just want to get it replaced pretty quickly, get the wing replaced, because you know, in some places you can maybe manage it a little bit, but Monaco, nah, no chance. Even Baku, even and Singapore, those tracks, naturally those tracks, twisty, walls very close. You just need every little bit of downforce you can get. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lepson even retires as well. 40 seconds off the pace here.
Yeah, and into the pits he goes, so it looks like he will be getting a front wing. Oh, he DNFs, so yeah, you're right. We're down to 10 drivers, as Lepson has called it quits for this one, and hopefully he stays in the lobby, because he is hosting, I believe.
Oh, that's right too. You don't want a repeat of... Oh, no!
No, bro.
No!
Hopefully it's okay. I haven't seen the migrating host, so maybe he isn't. It might be Tenari, actually, I don't know. Danico is pulling away, though, 1.3. So is this the... Oh, Danico back end, very loose there. I don't know if you caught that under braking. It looked like the back end wanted to overtake the front end of the car there, as that's allowed Justin to close up a little bit. But look at Meepo as well. Meepo is right on the back of Justin, and this is kind of the area where you can make a move if you use up a lot of ERS, get that slipstream and get a good exit from the last corner. But yeah, he's too far back, heading into Neufeld chicane. But yeah, Justin right now wants to get that gap under control. I'm wondering if the mediums are starting to fall off a little bit, or the hards are starting to come into their own, or a mixture of the two, because Danico does seem to be comfortably eking out a lead here.
I was just having a wee check there, Chief. I don't think that Lepson is hosting. I think it might be Dan or Tuna. I think actually he's Dan hosting, so
okay, that's
no issues
good
there. But I was just thinking, now that we've got 10 drivers, I was thinking someone post that gif of you get a point, everyone gets a point.
Everyone wins. Touge is back in the DRS train, but Tenari is fallen out of it, so yeah, Tenari has work to do here, but Touge finding some pace on those hard tires, and I think that is the case. These hard tires starting to come into their own. The mediums starting to get to the end of their life. They still have plenty of life left in them, but I'm just thinking they might be, yeah, their peak performance is definitely gone and in the past. As I'm right on board of McKender here, and you can see how close Meepo and Justin are ahead. So McKender just doing what McKender does, putting his car in the right spot in case of any shenanigans ahead.
Yeah, Mac never really... Justin bounced over the curb, nearly lost the rear end there. But I was going to say, Mac never really panics. It's one strength of his. I think I can say that without being accused of, was it glazing? But it is one of the strengths over the years of watching him, that he never panics. It's very, very calm. Doesn't react, act in haste, repent in leisure, so goes the saying. Whereas the charging bull in front of him, the young Finn of Meepo, he doesn't hang about. If he sniffs a little bit of an opportunity, he is all over it. And I think he is sniffing Justin's... oh my God, I was going to say something really bad. I'm going to say it. He's sniffing Justin's rear end here, and he can see an opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if he's setting him up for this. This is a good opportunity here. Just heading down to the Neufeld chicane, he is closing off, but you would have to absolutely send it, and oftentimes that doesn't work out. So Meepo showing at least some restraint here, but we have seen him pass. Like, he does get frustrated in these situations. He does not like being held up in a DRS train. He likes to be the lead driver. He likes to make the moves. So we may see something coming from Meepo soon, as he's starting to come under pressure from McKender. Oh. Meepo into the pits.
So Meepo is decided not to get involved in that, and he's actually doing trying to play a smarter way potentially and get him in the pits instead. But I tell you what, Chief, that mixture of the medium starting to drop off as well as having to fight off Meepo has really benefited Dan the Man. Look at that, 2.6 seconds of a gap on hards. You know, this is looking pretty good for Dan the Man as long as there's no safety cars. I think safety cars are off, isn't it, actually?
No, it is on, and we had one yesterday, but they're very rare at Monaco for some reason. You'd think they'd be in abundance here, but for whatever reason, we only got one yesterday, and none in Tier 3. We got maybe 1 or 2 VSCs in Tier 3, so they're very rare, but they do come out, so there is always that possibility. I think that call by Meepo to pit is probably really good if there is going to be rain at the end of the race. Tenari getting a 3-second time penalty, that's for the Nouvelle Chicane, I believe. In the background, I saw him cutting the apex there. That's going to cost him big time. But and Justin glancing off the wall. He's had a moment there.
Nike's also spun, Chief.
Nike. This is an interesting phase of the race. We're only on lap 12 and driver's starting to show a lack of focus.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of focus, and it's also the tyres too. Oh no, Meepo! That may prove to be absolutely pivotal in this race. Certainly for a podium place. He picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. And you know what? He certainly won't be the only one. I think some of these top runners may well as well also get a couple, a few pens or 1 or 2 pens. And look at this, Mac having to almost go around the outside of Justin there to avoid running into him. Justin seems to be struggling here, Chief. It seems Mac seems to be a bit more comfortable. And Monaco is one of those tracks where it really kind of exposes your driving style in the previous games, of course, in terms of your tyre wear, how well you can manage your tyres. And I don't know, Justin was getting a bit twitchy in lap 1 and he was sliding about earlier on. He just misses the wall there. And then he clips this curb and he got another tank slapper and had to correct his car. All that has a detrimental effect on your tyres. And we may be starting to see an effect of it. But no one pitting yet between these two. And I'll be keeping a close eye, Chief, on how Meepo does. Actually, Meepo, as soon as I say that, is setting purples on the hards. So this wee man is charging. And he's looking to, of course, jump Justin and get that P2 slot via the pits.
Yeah, like I say, that might be a really good strat for Meepo. I mean, that 3-second time penalty is unfortunate, but I'm just looking at Justin's comments again. He did say it was forecast for rain, but Justin doesn't think the rain is going to hit the track, so he thinks he can get to the end on dry tires. He will have to pit, of course, but he's not planning for any rain at the end of the race, which is interesting because Meepo obviously taking that gamble, pitting early as X-Crystals, another time penalty for him. But yeah, Meepo is only, I think, about 14 seconds behind the lead right now, so effectively when the guys ahead pit, he will be well in the lead on older tires.
Yeah, Crystal actually got crashed there, Chief, at the chicane outside of the bridge, and yeah, these guys are starting to lap him now, so he's going to be a major distraction for these guys, and I think Crystals is going to call it quits, and we may well drop down to 9 drivers. Are we going to drop down to 9? Or is he going to stick at it? The young Italian is going to stick with it, Chief. That's what we like to see.
Not bad, yeah. McKenna
Back also in the pits. Sorry, Chief.
Yeah, I was just calling the same thing. McKenna in the pits, puts on a fresh set of hards and comes out. It looks like he's going to come out P7 or P6 just ahead of Nikon and have plenty of fresh air ahead, it seems.
So I'm going to try and do rough math here, right? So he's about 10 seconds behind Tuna Man, which is about half a second, so that's 10 and a half, 11, say 11 and a half, 12, 13, 14, 15. He's about, 15 seconds behind Justin, which is well within a pit stop. I think I'm doing my math right there. So that would mean that when Justin pits, Meepo will jump him.
Yep, and Meepo on the fresh tires, that time's just going to come down. So by the time Danico does pit, yeah, Meepo's going to have a big gap ahead, but he will be on older tires as a disadvantage to pitting early, of course, and he will have that 3-second time penalty as well. But who knows what's going to happen at the end of the race? Rain is possible as Justin in the pits.
Yeah, we're going to find out now, Chief, very shortly. I think Meepo is going to comfortably pass Justin here in the pits. He may well actually have a good gap over him actually whenever Justin comes out of the pits, and I think I think that is right. I think Meepo just done an absolute blinder strategy call there, and he doesn't want any of that. Justin actually decided, I don't have to pass you on track, I'll be smart, I'll do the undercut. Oh, Justin just about avoided cutting the exit off the other junk. Crystals does indeed leave. So as I was complimenting him for sticking it out, he has indeed left it. We're down to 9, and Meepo Chief has jumped not only Justin, but Mac has also jumped Justin as well.
Oh, Danny Coe, my word! Where was that? That was the Nouvelle Chicane. So he's cut that and been a bit greedy once too often. So that's his. It must have been his third warning then that led to that time penalty. That could be huge, but as we've seen, Meepo as well with a time penalty, and Tenari in P3 currently with a time penalty still has to pit though. So interesting stuff. This is going to be we're not literally at the halfway point. We're almost literally at the halfway point. Almost literally.
We're almost literally just about certainly, absolutely, definitely halfway.
100% probably.
100% plus 1. 100% probably. That's a fact that I just made up.
That's a fact. Don't fact check it though.
What was that? My sources are absolutely no one. Or there's some gift like that. But yeah, I mean, I did say that Meepo will not be the only one of these top runners that will get a time penalty. Of course, we have the current championship leader, and was it 2-time Tier 1 champ of Dan the Man, with a time penalty. So if he can get one, anyone can get one. But so far, Tudge is doing a good job here of not getting any time penalty, sitting here in P2. But of course, he will lose that when he pits. It's going to be interesting how this all develops, Chief, because we're going to have Meepo. Meepo is actually running a very high risk here of getting himself another time penalty, because that was a major track excursion, you would could call it. Oh, look at this. We have the chicane cutter in chat. Okay, I like cookies, but that was fast. Well, of course it's fast if you're going to drive straight through the chicane in quali, Mr. Admin. I'm calling him out live to the world.
Yeah.
Can you tell, Chief, that I'm a bit of a stickler for rules?
Yeah. The enforcer, we'll call you.
The enforcer. Rules are rules, and you should lead by example, especially if you're an admin. Don't cut the track on purpose in quali.
Bob, I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking things are about to get really interesting. Danny Coe has Meepo behind, and he's only, I would say, just over 7 seconds behind him. So by the time Danny pits and comes out, he's going to be like, he may well be behind Justin. And as we know, track position is key here. So I wonder what Danny Coe is brewing in that pit of it, in that brain of his. He chooses to stay out longer, so he's committed to this longer run on these hards. But when he comes out, he's going to find himself having to do a lot of overtakes on a track where you normally can't overtake.
That's actually very well spotted, Chief. Indeed, Meepo may well actually inherit P1 here with Mac currently on then P2. You know what? You might be bang on here. Dan the Man is actually a little bit exposed, it seems. Realistically, if there was a safety car now, that could maybe save him. Maybe not. Yeah, man, that's actually really interesting. Dan the Man's going to have to think about coming in soon. What was it, 15 laps they put on the mediums? So,
yeah. Meepo and Tenari. Meepo was caught up with Tenari. Tenari on these older tires, so Meepo doesn't want to get held up too much. He's going to be hoping that Tenari pulls into the pits fairly soon. Hopefully this lap he will... I wonder if they're in VC. I wonder if he's asking him, you don't have to be pitting this lap, do you? Please.
The thing is...
Yeah.
Sorry, Chief, because I crossed you there, but I was just thinking there, if Dan the Man is indeed going to run medium, if that's what we think he's going to do, then he will be most likely be running to lap 24. By that stage, Meepo is going to really cut into this lead, like this gap of his. As what happened there? Mac? Oh, sorry, that was just Tunari pitting. Yeah. So yeah, he's going to really cut into this lead. So yeah, maybe a safety car might help him, but I think Meepo is going to inherit the race lead here.
Yeah, he might have pulled a blinder here. He has extended his lead over McKender in P4 by half a second on these slightly older hards. And yeah, I mean, obviously he has that 3 second hanging over him. But yeah, Danico as well, he's got that 3 seconds. And other drivers can pick up penalties as well. So Meepo might have played this one perfectly. But we're going to find out, aren't we, that we're literally just over the halfway point. Literally.
We have Tino in chat wanting to know of all the drivers, he wants to know what Justin's ERS is, because that's his best friend. Justin's ERS is 65. So now you know. Dan the man in the pits, and Meepo has indeed taken the lead, Chief. Taken the lead of Monaco on the hards. I've seen this before. I've watched it before, and I've been in it before. That is going to be a very hard position to get off Meepo. Obviously, he's got that 3 second time penalty. We could be looking at Mac, getting another race win, when he hasn't really looked like taking it, if I can say.
Yeah, Tanari just came out ahead of Touche there. It looked like Touche was very willing to give that position to Tanari on those fresh mediums. Touche as well on fresh mediums. So I wonder why he didn't fight him a wee bit more in the exit, but maybe he just felt like it's not his place, especially in cold tires. But Tanari up to P5 with that time penalty. Danny Coe came out P4, 4.5 behind Justin. So he is on much fresher tires. He's on these mediums, so they should be much faster. But again, it comes down to how is he going to get the moves done on these guys? He's going to have to pull something special out of the bag today. And if we've seen any of his past performances or anything to go by, he's probably going to do it somehow, some way.
Just on that, I was watching Justin, and he's not really using battery. He's kind of sitting here around 65-70%. Little dab here. Oh, he's using it up the hill. Naturally, you would expect. But yeah, he's kind of just sitting here, not really deploying. Oh.
Touche a 3 second time penalty in P6. So that's not good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can have a wee look when we get a chance, when you get a free moment. Justin and McKenna, how are they doing for warnings? I'm wondering, because all the top drivers have got penalties apart from them.
I'm gonna have a wee look at that right now, Chief. But Mac really was sliding in there and coming into towards the hairpin. And Justin's really trying to squeeze up on the back of him here. Again, not using much battery. Mac doing a great job here, 100% battery. No need to use it. But yeah, I'll have a wee look here for you, Chief, to see how these guys are doing with time penalties or potential penalties.
Yeah, Danny Coe setting purple sectors here on these fresh mediums. Looks like he's the fastest guy out there. They'll probably be confirmed in a moment with the fastest lap, I'd imagine. But he is quickly closing up on the back of Justin and McKender. With that 3 second time penalty though, yeah, Danny Coe 1:10.8 fastest lap, 1.8 behind P3 Justin. But again, that time penalty, that is huge. That is an albatross around your neck. It's going to be a bit of a burden, and he's definitely going to have to pull something special off. Sorry, go Bob.
Do you want to hear something juicy, Chief?
Let's go.
Potential kind of nullifying the race result. McKender and Justin both have 2 warnings.
Oh.
One mistake from either of these drivers, and they're getting themselves a big, fat, juicy 3 second time penalty.
Yeah,
so
Danny Coe won't know that, but he will be hoping that that's the case as he's caught up with him, so he's going to start putting the pressure on. These medium tires, though, they're in their prime at the moment, so if he's going to make a move, it's going to be ideally in the next few laps, I'd say.
Yeah, Justin's starting to deploy here as well as Mac, so yeah, I think that's more of a response. I have a feeling, and I could be wrong, I think Mac, in terms of race distance here, I think he has the legs on Justin. Justin is properly deploying now, like using that up. And he's not really eating into Mac, and Mac's still got a good bit of battery here, so yeah, I think Mac knows his battle here is to hold off Justin. In terms of the weather, it doesn't look like there's much rain coming. I see Tino was saying that the rain is coming. I don't know how realistic the game is. Oh, just nearly gone deep there. How realistic the game is, but as you know, Chief, and some people know, I lived for 7 months, almost 8 months in the Provence, not too far from Monaco. And generally, you don't get kind of weather shocks. The rain doesn't creep up on you. It's either an absolute storm or it's just sunshine. But it does look a little bit hazy looking at the roads of the mountains, so we may well start to see a little bit of the wet stuff shortly.
Yeah, I think Justin said lap 30 is going to have big cloud cover, and then from that point onwards there will be the threat of rain. These guys will be hoping they can get these dry tires to the end of the race, but we may see a few guys gambling on the inters. We will have to see how that transpires, but right now you can see the sunshine is out as Danico is trying everything to get past Justin here. He's using a lot of ERS going up the hill, but I'm sure Justin is also to defend. Oh, and Danico thinking about going around the outside. He had a look, didn't he? But yeah, Justin knows where to place his car, and this is another opportunity. He can set it on the inside, but yeah, Justin also going deep into that corner to cover him off. And yeah, Justin under a lot of pressure right now, Bob.
Man, this is a McLaren sandwich between two of the most successful drivers in Tier 1. Justin has his work cut out, and I tell you what, Danny will be probably trying to do one of two things, or maybe both of them. One, get past him naturally, but two, harass him into a mistake.
Oh my word, yeah, and he certainly did not. He pushed him through that corner, Bob. I don't know if you saw that. Nose to wheel.
Something's going to give, but this is just benefiting Mac as well, because it's letting Mac get a bit of a breather here. But Dan is absolutely assaulting the back end of that AlphaTauri. Almost, you know, there's no mistake that Dan the man's behind him. He knows very well and truly he's there, but he's trying to really force him into. Oh my goodness, Dan the man! What a stand there, up side by side. Dan on the mediums here, the better grip. Oh my goodness, something's got to give here.
Justin's out of ERS, so this might work out for Danico. Yep, he edges ahead, and look at Justin's ERS, 8%. He's left himself vulnerable, and he's paid the price.
Yeah, that is just beautiful work by Dan the man. He had those tires, fresh tires. Oh no, Dan! Oh my goodness, he nearly binned it. He nearly binned it. Oh my God, that was about as close as a bin as you can get. Did you see that, Chief?
I did, yeah. Heart and mouth moment for sure.
Justin's probably eyes lit up thinking, happy days, I'm going to get my P3 back. But no, Dan the man needs to hold off here. Now, will there be a bit of team orders here? Will Mac concede to Dan? Tricky. There will be both going for this. Dan the man is the title leader at the moment, and he does have so much pace over Mac. He does have the time penalty.
I have the feeling that Mac... Oh, and he tags it back!
Oh, sorry, Chief.
Yep, I caught that on stream. Yeah, he tagged him. Almost span him around. But
it makes sense. Sorry, Chief, go ahead.
I think McKender's going to let him pass, but it does. That's what I was going to say, but I just saw what happened in the start-finish straight. Maybe not, but yeah, they're going too wide up the hill, and that can be a bit sketchy in itself. But Danico getting that move done. But yeah, I think McKender's not too. He's not too unhappy about this, because he is still looking good. He's no penalty to his name. As long as he can stay on the back of Danico as he catches up to meet Mipo, he can take the win of this race if he just stays within that 3-second window.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say there whenever I was shouting over you. Was, Mac needs to let him pass. It makes sense for him to let Danny go, because he nearly got caught up there. You seen that in that little bit of an instant. That was just one guy having so much more grip and pace over the other naturally with these tires. But yeah, Dan the man is on a mission, and this will be for a position. Dan the man will have to pass Mipo, because they both have that time penalty, so they will nullify each other. But whereas Mac, on the other hand, excuse me, my hiccup. Mac, on the other hand, as you said, Chief, just has to creep up on these guys, but it's going to be tricky because he has got these 12 lap old hards. Dan the Man is on these 7-lap mediums, should be able to catch up. But Justin, my goodness, man, Justin drained everything he's got.
Oh, and now it looks like Tenari's going to go for a move. He's got the ERS to do it, but Justin making his car as wide as possible up the hill there. It is a bendy straight, so it is quite easy just to stick your car in the middle of the road and put the other guy off trying that move. But yeah, Tenari's looking good on these mediums.
Oh, no,
tags the back of him. Yeah.
Oh no, it's just going from bad to worse. I was going to say Justin is probably going to mark off Finland from his next destination. He's getting absolutely, I was going to say murdered, that's the wrong word. He's just getting passed left, right and centre. He get passed by Meepo in the pits, then he get passed. Yeah, I didn't get past. I think he's trying to fight off Mac, and then Dan passes him, and now Tuna Man is now assaulting him as well. And after Tuna Man will be Tudge as well, and then Nike. It's just like, oh my goodness, it's a finished lockout here in Tier 1, and Justin's right in the thick of it. Oh my goodness, Justin gets out of it that one really early on the brakes. Nearly caught out Tuna Man, and you can see this tyre difference that caught out Dan and Mac, and it just makes sense now that Tuna Man really forces this issue. Justin on 14% battery, he has nothing to defend with. Tuna Man needs to get himself perfectly positioned and then use that battery. Don't drain it too much. This is going to be it here. Tuna Man's going for. Oh, Justin really defends hard. We've seen Justin in previous races. He will defend at all costs. He will hold on to that position. You remember in that race in Monaco, or was it Silverstone, when Dan the Man going to pass on the line? He drove him right to the grass.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Justin is not afraid to really get rough and tumble, and he's kind of grew into that approach, I think, because the Finns, they don't hang about. They see a move and they go for it.
Yeah, and I think Justin's aware that these mediums are fast right now, but in a few laps time they'll be pretty much even with Justin's tire. So if he can survive this phase of the race and keep that P4 position, it will benefit him later on as. Yeah, he's in a good spot still. He is falling a wee bit behind P3, but yeah, 3 seconds. If he can get within 3-second range of Danny Co or Meepo, or ideally both, he will pick up both those positions.
And Tuna Man was dropping a wee bit of pace off there off Justin. This might be the start to see the difference in this tyres, Chief. He was cutting a bit of the curb. He's using a lot of battery. That's what I mean. He's using a lot of he used battery very early. And now he's almost getting pretty low here on 40%. Justin, meanwhile, sitting at 27. Unable to recover, really. So Justin's kind of locked into this position. He has nothing really worth talking about to fight for Mac. But then he just has enough in the tank to hold off Tuna Man. As Babylus says in chat that Danny is out of the 3-second gap. Indeed, he is actually well spotted, Babs. Covering our Twitch channel. Yeah, he is 3 seconds out of the McKendall window, so guaranteed P2 as it stands. And my goodness, Chief, he has assaulted that time between him and Meepo, and he is going to pass Meepo, I expect, within the next couple of seconds here. On the DRS, good bit of battery. Meepo, however, Meepo almost full battery. So Dan the Man is not going to deploy too much. Dan, you don't want to deploy too much. Oh, he's going to go for it. He's going to try what he done on Justin. And a little bit of wheel banging, not going to work. But he's going to have a second. Oh, Meepo, that was a bit of a late move there to the left. So to Dan the Man doesn't want to use too much battery here. He's used quite a big chunk. Meepo, meanwhile, still on 62%. Dan. Oh, he's got so.
Oh, he tagged him.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a tag or such. I think Meepo actually locked up. He's up the inside of Meepo. Oh my goodness, this is argy-bargy stuff. Sending, I'm coming through. Then Meepo returns the favour and he's running down right to the wall. Oh my God, lads, come on, don't give it up now. And Mac will be saying, yes, lads, keep it up. I'm sitting pretty with no penalty and P3. Oh my goodness.
Oh, no, don't do this, no. Both drivers. Wheels locking up together. Danny Co picks up a 5-second penalty for cutting the chicane, and yeah, I don't know what you make of that, Bob. Tenari as well getting a 3-second time penalty in the background there, but yeah, that looked like Meepo didn't leave much room on the inside. He left the door open, but once Danny Co stuck a wheel in, he quickly closed that door, and Danny Co another 5-second penalty. So
oh my God.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching Danny's stream now, I bet you he is absolutely livid. I mean, I said it looked like a bit of a late move up the hill. I missed that instant because I was watching further back, but yeah, that is just absolutely detrimental to Dan's race. He's definitely not going to win it now with all those penalties. Who knows what the FIA might decide, but yeah, Mac sitting pretty here in P3, and so is Justin. Justin sitting nicely. He doesn't need to do much now. Leading the championship with 1 point. He's going to be most certainly leading the championship if he keeps it where he is at the moment. Because Dan and Meepo, many penalties, or definitely Dan anyway. Yeah, it's going to be a Mac P1, Justin P2, it looks like.
Yep, shenanigans for sure. I'm not seeing any evidence of this rain coming in. It still looks kind of bright. It is overcast, but it looks pretty bright out there. So I think Justin was right. The rain won't. It might start, but I think we're going to get to the end of this race on these dry tires and not have to switch to the inters. But what drama we just witnessed between Meepo and Danny Koo, the FIA. We'll certainly be looking at that incident, and some of those penalties that Danny Koo got may well be removed, depending on what they see, as McKender is pushing Meepo through the first corner, and again up the hill. He's going to try and send it down the inside, and Meepo doing all he can. He's had one McLaren behind him, and he's now got a second one behind him that he's going to try and defend from, but hopefully no more shenanigans. We don't want to see any more, I don't know what you would call that, but dubious driving, perhaps? Dubious defending?
Yeah, a high risk. Meepo is just, we know he just wants to win, and he will often do it at all costs, and it sometimes is not to his benefit. I'm just going to keep an eye here on Mac to see how Mac navigates them. They have had runnings in twice this season, potentially costing Mac potentially a win, but certainly podium points. So Dan did send it like earlier on, like in the chicane, was a proper send. I think that probably got Meepo's back up, and then it just descended into absolute chaos. But indeed, as we said, those penalties may well be removed if it's deemed that Meepo is at fault. But alas, we will see. We will see what the FIA decide. It's not for us to judge on that. So we'll see. But at the moment, Chief Dan the Man, or Mac, is going to win this race. It seems, due to people's penalties.
Yep, and Justin, I wonder if he's aware of it. You know, the penalty that Danny Koo has might egg him on to try something on McKender. As he's getting held up here by Meepo, so it does open up an opportunity for Justin, but yeah, he's going to have to pick his moment, and he may get a chance, but he just has to put himself in the right position, basically do what McKender does to McKender.
And reading the chat there, chat's lit up at that. Tino says 5 minutes till the rain, according to Jeff. Babel is saying that the penalty should be removed. Joel saying dodgy dives. And then Meepo's dad saying Danny was pushing into places that are not viable. There may be people that actually share that opinion in the chicane. That was certainly quite an opportunistic dive. In some respects, it kind of does recall that, in Monaco. You need to do things like that, but it just descended into absolute chaos. I tell you what, Chief, looking at these tires and the track, we might get the little bit of skiff of rain. We might actually just get a couple of drops for the end of this race.
Yep. Tenari, I'm just watching Tenari. It looks like he's struggling a little bit out there just for grip. He has Touge all over the back of him. He is part of this DRS train. Tenari also carrying that penalty as well, so unfortunately he will not profit from the drivers ahead having penalties, and Touge as well. So I mean, this battle for P5 is real, because Touge and Tenari both have 3 second time penalties, so Touge will be wanting to get a move on, so he may be doing the same thing as some of the drivers ahead, hoping that there is there is a chance before this race ends. It looks like, was that 4 laps left after this one? Danny Koo has got the gap from him to Meepo up to 5.6, and something happened to Touge there as Tenari is in the pits. Tenari is going to put on, is he going to go for enter? No, he's going for softs. So why would he pit? I'm wondering this late in the race. Why would you pit for softs? No front wing
No
change.
idea.
Is that indicating the mediums are dead? Because Danico is on mediums, 15 lap mediums, which was the same age lap mediums that Tenari just pitted and got removed. So interesting stuff. I guess Tenari pitted because he knew that he's not going to lose a position, so it is a free pit stop. Maybe he's thinking he'd go for that fastest lap, but he does lose a position from doing so.
Well, Babala says that he saw the replay, and apparently Meeple was closing to the right. Now, I'm assuming that was the run out of the tunnel. Because I missed it, I didn't see what happened, but I'm assuming that's what he means, and he was kind of closing, drifting over to the right towards Dan. And then he asks, you think Danny will open to 10-second gap? No. With the time remaining, no. Unless Meeple and all drop off massively, I don't see it. 7, 8, 9, 3 seconds in set 2, 7, 8, 9, 2 laps, say. Tall order. Although, I'll tell you what, he's doing a good job here. He's up to 7.3. Oh, Mac standing it up the inside of Meeple.
Oh.
And is Meeple going to fight this one just as hard as he did Justin? What's he going to do? Not fighting his fellow Finn. I know people will get angry at me saying that. Not fighting his fellow Finn as hard as he did others. But he will fight Justin. And Justin will be keen to pass. He doesn't have to pass.
Bob, it's raining. I just saw some rain coming down. I'm looking at Meeple's POV. I'm seeing a bit of rain coming down. And yeah, this is going to get super interesting. 2 laps. And this track's going to get a bit wetter every sector, every corner.
Do you know what? This might be a really just dumb thing to say, but to see if everyone else pits, it might actually benefit Dan to stay out, because he will have built up quite a gap while they're all pitting, that it might just be enough when he crosses the line. And I know that might sound a bit daft, even on 17-lap old mediums, but we'll see. Old Dan really went for front end grip there in turn 1, yeah,
lap 38, so 2 more laps left. This is the penultimate lap. Danico doing all he can to extend his lead as much as possible. He doesn't know what's going to happen with those penalties, so at the minute it looks like McKinnon is going to win this race, and Justin has got his own battle here with Meepo, but he is falling back a little bit. These gaps are starting to open up a little bit, I've noticed, since that wet stuff has started. And as the track is only going to get wetter and wetter here, so really it's going to come down to driver skill. It's not so much about the car, it's about how much you can eke out of that car and adapt to these conditions.
Tell you what, man, it's going to be quite a feisty Discord after this to see what's going on, or maybe it won't be, we'll see. But yeah, that was definitely a winning, deciding incident, let's say, driver winning incident. And yeah, Mac, as I touched on earlier, he just doesn't panic. He just sits his ground, puts his lap after lap in, looks after his battery, manages his tires, and he does he gets himself into these positions where he's able to capitalize on others fighting around him. I would say it's definitely the best strategy. It's something I've done myself. Just let everyone kill each other. It's the best strategy. Just sit there, watch everyone kill each other, and then you just take all the points. Easy.
Justin has saved up a bit of ERS, used a lot of it going up the hill there. We're on the last lap, so I mean, you really want to get rid of all your ERS, but he's obviously saved it up for a rainy day. The rain has begun, so I mean, his only real opportunity is going to be into the chicane, I believe, unless Meepo makes a big mistake here, but Justin trying to follow him through as closely as possible. The gap is 0.6. Oh, and Justin hits the wall, and that's gonna give him a bad exit. And you can see that time increasing 1.1. He's not gonna get this moved on a Meepo, but he doesn't have to, I guess. He's got a podium sitting right in front of him, as he will jump Meepo as they cross the line. And Danico is about to do that, Bob. He has had a stellar performance, but we have a bit of a question mark hanging over with those penalties. He's going to cross the line in P1. It is a win for Danico on track, but McKender, his teammate, is going to take this one, it looks like. And yeah, Meepo's going to drop down to P4 then, Justin P3, unless something happens here before the finish line. But yep, Justin up to P2. Meepo holds on to P3. Danico all the way down to P4. So not a massive loss. And look how much he lost out to Meepo. 0.034. Touge P5. Tenari in P6. Didn't see that fastest lap coming in from him. So that pit stop was interesting. He may have well threw away some points there. And Naiko just making his way for the penultimate corner. May be glad this one is over. And bringing home some decent points in Tier 1. It's not bad for a Tier 3 driver. Ryad P8 in the end, and Fox has already crossed the line as he's been lapped, so Fox will get that P9 spot. There you have it, Bob.
Yeah.
Another one in the bag.
Do you know what? Justin done well overall when you think about it. Like, he was getting attacked from, every angle, and he kept his nerve. He did get hit and he get tagged at the back as well, and he still stuck it on P2, and ultimately he has outscored his main rival of Dan the Man due to those penalties, although that may well be reversed. We don't know yet. We're only just guessing. We don't know the outcome. We don't even know who was at fault, if anyone was at fault. But FIA can change things with time penalties being removed and stuff like that. So Dan may well keep his race lead, or it may stay the way it is. Who knows? But as it stands, Mac takes the win here in Monaco, keeping it cool and calm and calculated, and driving, by the way, with a 2 warning threat hanging over him, and he held on to his nerve, as well as Justin as well. He also had the 2 warning threat. Takes P2, Meepo P3, Dan P4, Tudge P5, then Tunari 6, Naiku 7, Riyadh 8, Fox 9, and rounding out the top 10 is Crystals. There we go. To the interviews.
Yeah, before we get there, I just want to point out, if Danico got one of those 5-second penalties removed, just one, he wins the race. So FAA, over to you, and we'll give you an update on that next week, as FAA will certainly be looking at that over the next few days. But yeah, let's get to the interviews. Hopefully we have Justin in the interview booth, and I'm wanting to speak to Meepo as well. Just want to see how he's feeling after that one. A bit of a frustrating race for him. Looked like he might have thrown that away. Without that 3-second time penalty, he himself may have won his race. But McKender, for now, is the winner. He comes out top of the pops. So we do have a McLaren gracing the top step, and Danny Cook may well join him later in the week if the FAA goes his way. Nobody in interview booth though. That makes me sad.
I think it's probably going to be happening first in the chat in Discord. Look, it's normal maybe not to get someone right away, because I think that was quite an intense race for many of those guys. And they're probably going to take something that I always give the people. I always give advice, especially if it's been a heated race. After the race, take a breather, walk away, get a drink of water or whatever your beverage of choice is. Maybe, go to the loo, throw some water over your face, and then come back. Don't react right away.
Yeah, and don't use the water from the loo. Just go to the sink and use that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Point that out. Justin, welcome to the interview booth, or the commentator booth. What a race from you today, man. That I'm sure you have mixed feelings about that one, but yeah, I just want to hear from you. How do you feel after that race? Relieved or?
I feel pretty good. I think P3 was the best that can happen. I've been violently ill this entire week, so
Oh jeez, sorry to hear that.
not fun. But I don't know. Once my tires got to like 30%, they just fell off a ginormous cliff. So I don't know if it was set up or if it was me. But I mean, I came across P3, but then I saw Dan got 13 seconds. I don't know what that is. I knew he had 3 seconds. I don't know what happened afterwards. So I guess I'm happy with P2, but I'll be even happy with P3.
Yeah, you had a really hard phase of the race here. It looked like, whenever the tires started to drop off in that second stint, you had a bunch of guys behind you trying to muscle the way past. But I think Danny Cook got you. But after that, you just said, no, no more, none shall pass. Yeah, just tell us about that phase of the race. I mean, obviously the pressure and the when you were driving, it must have been immense, but you held it off. So yeah, how did that feel?
The problem with Danny was that he was 4 seconds behind me out of the pits, and well, he had fresh mediums, so I knew fighting him would probably only last 2 laps, and it did. But the benefit with who was it, Tunari and Tuj behind was they were like 12 seconds behind in the pit stop, so they had to use already a fair bit of their tires catching up, and then I guess I just made myself as wide as possible heading up into what was it, turn 2, turn 3, wherever that uphill section is,
Yeah.
and then yeah, it was just about survival towards the end with everything.
Yeah, and we heard from you before the race that there was going to be rain, but you were not convinced that it was going to be wet enough for the dry tires, and that turned out to be correct. Do you think Meepo, with that early pit stop, he was banking on there being rain at the end of the race and switching to those inters, maybe?
I have no idea what Meeple's strategy was. The hards wouldn't have lasted until the end, and I mean clearly they did, but they didn't have much pace. But I don't know. For me, it said in quali that there was going to be rain plus 30 minutes, which would have been like what, lap 30, lap 25 ish. But then we loaded into the race and there was no rain, and then all of a sudden there's a rain from like lap 29 onwards. So with this game, I guess you never can tell.
Yeah. Uh, but it worked out in the end. P2 for you, so solid performance. And who knows what's going to happen with Danico? We'll obviously find out after the FA have a look at that. But yeah, I mean, you were leading the championship going into this one, and it looks like you still will be leading. Although McKender has entered the fray. It's you,
It should
Danny,
be.
and Justin. It looks like it's going to be between you three. How are you feeling about the rest of this? I ask you it every time you're in the interview, but I just want to hear what your mentality is heading into the final races of the season. I think there's 5 races left, so plenty of
Yeah.
points on the table. But are you looking at these tracks thinking, yeah, this is good for me, or what's your kind of your take on it?
Well, Monaco and Bahrain are the last two tracks. I'm kind of just hoping to get over and score as many points as I can before the final four, which are some of my four strongest tracks race pace wise. So yeah, I'm just hoping to finish strong. And if today's anything to go by, I can complete a race without getting hit. So as long as that happens in tracks where there's not walls within a hair of to my left and right, then hopefully if all goes well, I might be able to finally get the championship.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to how this one plays out for sure, and yeah, I'm definitely I'm not a betting man, but I would put a fiver on you at this point because I think it would get good odds given that you know how it's been in previous seasons. But maybe this is the one, Justin. Who knows? But a sick Justin P2 today, not bad. You got to be happy with that performance. So go and have a lie down. Hopefully you feel better soon, man.
Thank you.
Yep, we'll speak soon. As Justin Ertz, appreciate him taking the time to join us in the booth. I think that's it though for interviews. It looks like I did DM Meepo asking for an interview, but no reply just yet. So Bob, let's wrap this one up. I mean, I don't know if you've any final thoughts on the race yourself.
Well, just the fact that nobody wants to speak, no, question us or ask or interviews. I was thinking of that quality line from. Do you remember when Boris Johnson was getting at some meeting and no one wanted to question him? And he goes, "No one wants to question me. Great Sir Prime protoplasmic jellies." Remember that?
Yeah, yeah, roughly. Yeah, I try to forget about anything to do with Boris Johnson, but yeah,
How can you forget that, her man? My goodness.
yeah,
But
interesting.
ultimate race, I actually enjoyed Monaco. Monaco can be a bit of a bore fest sometimes, but yeah, really got really interesting. Certainly that the pit stop shenanigans going on, and then the whole thing with Meepo and Dan. And what's going to happen about that? Is the penalty going to be applied? Is it going to be held off? Was Meepo at fault? Was Danny being too aggressive? I mean, we don't know. I can't say. I never really seen it, so it's not my place to say anyway. But yeah, man, I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to next week, Chief. Next week.
Yep, indeed. Like the rest of the season is going to be mint because what have we got next week? Bahrain, Japan afterwards, classic track, Netherlands as well. We just saw the esports guys driving there. That's a great track, especially yeah, it's a quite a short track, but it's such a fun track to drive. Saudi Arabia as well. We got Jeddah there, and then the final race of the season, Austria. Not a favorite of mine, but definitely I'm looking forward to watching Tier One at Austria. Very very short track. I think of Austria as like a roller coaster. You know, there's so much elevation change, and then you've got so many fast corners. It's such a great track to watch a race, especially Tier One. We've been spoiled this season, and that's another classic race in the bag for the drivers. 11 drivers today, or we got 12 actually in total. Not ideal, but these Tier One guys give us 12 drivers, and they'll deliver a race. And we will round it up there though. We've got the interviews in the bag, and we have Bahrain next week. So, guys, thanks everybody for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we will be back next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Tier 3, 2, and 1. Guys, again, thanks very much for watching. We will speak soon. Bye bye.